U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, has all but closed. The State Department announced it will take over what's left of the agency. The move cost thousands of people their jobs, including people right here in San Diego. ABC 10 News reporter Danny Miskell met with a former employee of the agency. He describes the moment he learned everyone was losing their jobs and the ripple effect it could have across the world.
It was incredibly impersonal. As I mentioned, my name wasn't mentioned, and it was essentially, we've done a review and we found that we don't need your services anymore.
At the end of February, Rob Friedman was among the first wave of USAID employees to be cut. According to ABC News, around 4,000 employees were placed on leave. Another 1,600 got an email like Rob's, telling them their services were no longer needed. Shortly after, members of the president's administration were seen on television questioning the agency's spending.
If you look at the waste and abuse,
Rob tells me those labels couldn't be farther from the truth.
How we were being labeled was quite disconcerting to hear.
Rob joined USAID 13 years ago. He worked for the Bureau for Humanitarian Assistance, dealing with disaster situations around the world and delivering food, shelter, and essential supplies. Rob is a photographer and took pictures while illustrating some of the work he did abroad. Rob took this photo in Nepal while helping with earthquake management in 2015.
We went back to Nepal to check and to see which of the schools stood after the earthquake, primarily the ones that were constructed with the education and training provided by USAID. These schools stood.
Rob also spent time in Honduras after catastrophic hurricanes ripped through the country, devastating its crops. He took this photo of a Honduran girl while helping local farmers.
Making sure that the latest technologies are being used to make sure that they're producing a lot. And we're finding incredible results from this.
Then in 2014 and 2018, USAID got involved in West Africa where there was the Ebola outbreak.
The fact that Ebola didn't make it to the United States shows what it is that USAID did. Sometimes it's easy to overlook an achievement like that because it didn't hurt anybody.
Rob says all of the projects he was deployed on came directly from the administration in office at that time.
So the idea that USAID should just have his head cut off for following guidance is difficult to stomach.
But they turn out to be radical left lunatics.
It's been more than a month since the Trump administration announced it was getting rid of USAID. Rob worries what long-term consequences we could see with foreign policy and humanitarian efforts globally.
I think that the biggest loss is going to be from health programs. The initial problems that you're going to have is you just don't have the same system in place now for health support. And this is clearly going to result in sorry to say, more death.
And as for the food supply from American farmers to countries living with food insecurity or drought,
this is also gone.
If you could give our policymakers one key message, what would it be?
There's something called the 3 Ds for foreign policy. And that's defense, development, and diplomacy. USAID is the organization carrying out development. That impacts your ability to carry out diplomacy as well. Do you really want to cut off development? Are you cutting off your nose to spite your face here? I think that's what you're doing with USAID.
Danny Miskell, ABC 10 News.